Hello everyone, Sean Ferrick here, and I'm thrilled to be telling you that this video is brought to you in partnership with Surfshark, but more on that now in a little bit. The Star Trek movies have always been a more hectic production than the Star Trek television show, and I don't just mean because there's bigger budgets involved or, you know, there could be any number of reasons, sometimes bigger sets. Sometimes they're just a clusterfuck. With that in mind, I'm Sean Ferrick for Trek Culture, and here are 6 Star Trek films actors hated filming. Number 6, Star Trek Nemesis, Marina Sirtis. Marina Sirtis has been with Star Trek since the very first episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, and after a couple of interesting first few seasons where they really tried to figure out what Deanna Troi was as a character, by the latter half of The Next Generation she really had settled into quite a dynamic character on the show. Now, when it came to the final film, she was just kind of tossed aside, as was Dr. Crusher in fairness. This is because new director Stuart Baird came in and wasn't a fan of the series to begin with. Therefore, in Sirtis' opinion, he didn't really know what he was doing. You see, Baird had started his career as an editor, not a director. So this was a big enough budget for 2002 Hollywood film. At least, if you're going to get someone, maybe get someone who knew the source material. Jonathan Frakes was not invited back after the perceived failure that was Star Trek Insurrection. And also, no one asked his opinion while on set as well. Stuart Baird never spoke to him about ideas of what to do or what to do with the characters. It was a bit of a swing and a miss. Now, on top of all of this, Deanna Troi, who had spent years being developed finally as a dynamic, interesting and strong character, was effectively reduced to damsel in this film. Shinzon's assault on her, if it was me, I'd cut it from the film. It doesn't serve a narrative purpose other than to make Shinzon irredeemable. He's not just a flawed villain, he's evil. It was a mistake in the film, if I'm to be honest. So when Marina Sirtis came out and said that the director was a complete idiot, yeah, I think I see her point. Number 5, Star Trek Generations, Malcolm McDowell. Malcolm McDowell was already an established actor long before he became Dr. Tolian Soran in the first of the Next Generation era movies. Now, he was undeniably brilliant in this film. He is one of the highlights of Generations, to be fair. Now, unfortunately, he wasn't an easy sell. He said in later years that it took the filmmakers 4 goes to convince him to do the film, and eventually he signed on for the money. He was refreshingly honest about that fact as well. Actors don't work for free. It's a craft, so yeah, okay, fair enough. He said as well that he was happy to have a chance to work with, as he called him, Old Baldy again, of course being Patrick Stewart, but then, as time went on, his nephew, a certain Alexander Siddig, confessed that his uncle had told him how much the script was shit in private. Also, added to that, some deranged fans start sending him death threats because he killed Captain Kirk, with William Shatner himself asking him while writing a novel, how did it feel to kill an American TV icon? Malcolm McDowell, I think, was quite generous in the way he described it after that, and I don't think we'll be seeing Soran in any upcoming projects.
Now, as we mentioned, today's video is brought to you in partnership with Surfshark, who are our favourite VPN providers here at What Culture, because the last time we worked together, they let me do this. Howdy, partner. Want to watch new episodes of 90 Day Fiancé? By now, you've heard about the benefits of a virtual private network and how great they are in terms of allowing you to access your favourite shows and websites in other countries. But they're about so much more than that. Allow us to be serious for a moment. Did you know that some websites increase their prices based on your location and browsing history? Not with a VPN. Did you know when accessing public Wi-Fi, your confidential data can be accessed by malicious third parties? Not with a VPN. Did you know a lot of banks will immediately freeze your account if you attempt to access it from another country? An understandable precaution, but not with a VPN. Did you know that some countries are starting to ban things like Facebook and TikTok because they absolutely hate the idea of you having any fun? Not with a VPN, Donnie. I'll floss all damn day long if I want to. Well, thanks to Surfshark, you can be the master of your own digital destiny across unlimited devices thanks to the incredible offer we have with them. Simply click the link in the description and enter promo code WhatCulture for 83% off and 3 extra months for free. 83% off. If I removed 83% of my clothing, we'll be able to put the video out. That's how much that is. And on that mental image, back to the video.
Number 4, Star Trek Nemesis, again, and Tom Hardy. This is actually one of the sadder ones because Tom Hardy put his heart and soul into this role. Shinzon was more of an idea than a fully fleshed out character, which is not Tom Hardy's fault, but because of that, he didn't have an awful lot of material to work with. Now, he was working hard. He was doing between 14 and 18-hour days almost every day. He spoke about at the time he had given up all vices. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, none of these things. He just worked. So by the time the film wrapped, he was burned out. Then, when the film hit theaters, it bombed. People have called it the worst of the next-gen films. People have said all sorts of nasty things about it, really. But what it really did that was awful is that it sent Hardy into a tailspin. He relapsed heavily on alcohol. He ended up having to check himself into rehab in the following year, which is like, guys, he's an actor. At the end of the day, if you didn't like the film, fine. But come on. So, unfortunately, he did not take any of that time as a positive time in his career. Now, obviously, he has bounced back and he is doing fantastic in his career at the moment, which is great, especially because he was put right down to the bone by this. Although Nemesis is probably nobody's favorite Star Trek film, when you remember how much work went into it and how much strife came out of it, it's basically people owe Tom Hardy an apology. Number 3, Star Trek the Motion Picture, PERSIS KHAMBATTA. When the project that had begun life as Phase 2 was dreamed up, PERSIS KHAMBATTA was actually hired to play Lieutenant Ilia long before there was a movie. This was great for her. It was 5 years of guaranteed work. That's what was in the contract. She was a model, and so she obviously lived contract to contract. Great, 5 years, we don't have to worry about it. Then, quite suddenly, it was a motion picture. Now, that wasn't what she had signed up for originally. While she enjoyed the film and the filming experience itself, it was very much a swing and a miss in terms of her career, because that was it. That was 5 years earning just gone overnight. And the contract that she was then offered for the film obviously didn't take all of that to recompense her. Added to that, she shaved her head. Now there's varying basically stories about this, about her crying bitter tears over having to do this, or her being totally fine with doing this. Whatever the truth is there, either way, as a model, that would have affected her career at the time. She was not the biggest fan of the production from that point on, and it is unfortunate because while the motion picture, you know, we think it's a visual masterpiece at least, it doesn't have a lot of love in cinema, and she really gives it her all. Number 2, Star Trek the Motion Picture, William Shatner. Now, William Shatner is many things, but he is also blunt. And, hey, when it comes to a list like this, that's perfect. When he watched the premiere of Star Trek the Motion Picture, he thought to himself, well, that's it. We gave it our best shot. It wasn't any good. He thought they'd killed the franchise. That was it. Like, with Star Trek the Motion Picture, it was dead. Star Trek was done. They would be lucky to do the convention circuit through the 80s, maybe. Then, of course, it did so well at the box office. Now, its budget set off that a little bit, but they were all surprised by how well the motion picture did, because as Shatner says, they didn't think it was any good. Having said that, it is easily their most beautiful film. Ask Bill Shatner what he thinks. He'll be honest with you. Number 1, Star Trek Insurrection, Marina Sirtis. And she's back again! Marina Sirtis, she's not as blunt as William Shatner, but she's not far off it, in fairness. When describing how she got on the set of Star Trek Nemesis, herself and LeVar Burton were talking about their experiences with the director, with everything, and she cut in with, well, at least it wasn't as bad as the previous movie we did. Now, I take issue with that a little bit, because first of all, Insurrection is nowhere near as bad as its reputation says it is. Also, Jonathan Frakes directed that, be nice. But it is also true that, again, Deanna Troi doesn't get much to do. Apart from that small storyline with Riker where they rekindle their relationship, which is a very welcome addition. They make for a perfect Star Trek couple. What else does Deanna Troi do in that film? Now you could argue that, hey, Marina, easy paycheck, enjoy it. But remember, this is, what, nearly 20 years of work has gone into making this character to kind of be told, hey, stand there, make a boob joke, and shoot that green screen over there, yeah? So, yeah, maybe not such a surprise. And that's it for our list today. Would you believe I'm happy to say it's only 6 entries, because I like the Star Trek films, and I hope you do too. But if you can think of any that I've missed, please do drop it into the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can catch us over on Twitter at Trek Culture. You can catch myself over on Twitter at Sean Ferrick as well. Whatever you do, I hope you do it. I hope you don't end up regretting it in years to come. And make sure that you live long and prosper.